Everybody, I'm Live's Nick Baumgarten here alongside Brendan Quinn at Chrysler Center, Michigan. Brendan with its biggest win of the year over number 11 Wisconsin, 64-58 final score. An interesting game in that Michigan did not shoot it the way it's been shooting it, but got it done with some defense, got it done with a lot of different things. So no superhero Derek Walton today, but Zach Irvin gets it done. It's an interesting game for them and kind of a huge win. I don't know how to say it.
Their biggest win of the year was against Michigan State. Then their biggest win of the year was against Indiana. And now this is how things are going right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you bring up an interesting point with that they didn't shoot the ball well, and that was kind of one of my bigger takeaways from the win over Indiana. Was that it wasn't this, take the paint off the walls type of night from making 16 threes and doing
70%.
They won a basketball game and straight up without doing anything absurd. And did it again tonight. I'm about to go up and write about this. That their ability to change defense in the second half is something that you haven't seen here. They really went straight up in the first half, and Ethan Happ just had
10
that,
of 11
had that for lunch
or something like that.
And Michigan had prepared to change defenses and go with some doubles, some cheats, do more of those things. And in the second half, they had to go to it and actually executed it. They've made defensive adjustments before in the second half. That doesn't mean they've always worked. Tonight it worked, and that's winning basketball right there. When you can do it with Derek Walton going 1 for 8, with DJ Wilson having little to no impact on the game whatsoever. They won a basketball game, not a shootout, and that's a big step for this group, I think. 17
points for Zach Irvin on the first day in a long time. It felt like we saw the old Zach Irvin again. I know you spoke with him this evening as Mr. Irvin.
I mean, you could feel he looked lighter. He looked like his shoulders were back a little bit, and he kind of stood a little taller. And obviously, this thing weighed on him. But John Beilein was absolutely right in his post-game press conference. The guy scored 1,400 career points. He's not. He's not some freshman that you're hoping breaks. Like maybe this is who he is. Like this is what he was doing the last couple weeks.
That was out of character.
That's not who he is. That's not his talent level. It's really hard to do it every game, every night. And he had a slump. And it was interesting the way he got out of it, because when he airballed that first shot, I think you and I both looked at each other and said, well, it's not going to happen tonight, so you can pretty much mark him off the docket of potential options here.
Right.
And it was interesting going into that timeout. The timeout immediately following that air ball from the corner. Beilein walked right out on the court, clapping, looking at Zach Irvin.
Yeah.
And he smacked him on the back, and he told him, if you're open, keep shooting the ball. And the point being, they can't reach their ceiling unless Zach Irvin is part of this group and part of the rotation and doing what he can do. And Beilein needs him, his teammates need him, and they got it tonight. And he really closed the gap for Walton kind of being shut down by Showalter and going 1 for 8, not giving him that scoring punch that he has.
You mentioned the other two games of Michigan State and Indiana were the biggest wins at the time. This is an actual quality win, and this is your signature win of the year. At this point, 7-6 in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
They are trending toward being a tournament team at this point.
Absolutely, they are on the right side of the bubble right now, and now it's another major opportunity. This team, with all this confidence right now, gets Minnesota on the road this weekend. That would be a potential top 30 RPI win. There might be a top 25, depending on the updated numbers, but we'll ignore that. But that's the next step. Now a marquee, okay, can you beat a rival? They beat a rival. Okay, can you win on the road against at a place you never win? They did that. Okay, you never beat Wisconsin. So they beat Wisconsin. Right. Now a marquee win on the road.
Again.
That's another, it's really worked out interesting for writers. For one, it's really working out pretty well in terms of storylines. That this thing just keeps on a step. And the thing is that right now, they are not overly dependent on one way of winning, which is, I think we both thought, the problem early on, where it was either score 90 or lose against a good team, and that's not the case right now.
Well, we'll see what happens Sunday. Again, Michigan on the right side of the bubble. We'll see if they keep it that way Sunday. Minnesota at 7 o'clock Eastern
7 o'clock
time.
Eastern time.
It'll be fun for you. 7 o'clock Eastern time in Minneapolis. Until then, for Brendan, I'm Nick. Talk to you guys later.